It's never been clearer that lifting lighter weights can be a very effective training strategy. So by the end of this video, I'll teach you exactly how to use lightweight training to build muscle and strength without going all pike pose on your deadlift. If you're wondering, yes, there is plenty of scientific data supporting the use of lighter weights, like this study in 2010, this study in 2012, this meta-analysis in 2014, this study in 2015, 2016, 2019, 2022, and this research review in 2023. The consensus is that lifting lighter weights can lead to similar muscle hypertrophy or muscle growth as lifting heavier weights. And we're talking weights where you can do 30 plus reps per set. For strength gains, the story is a bit different. By and large, the greatest strength gains are achieved by lifting very heavy weights. Lighter weights can still somewhat improve strength and sometimes even rival the strength gains of heavy weights like we see in a 2016 study. But the point of this video isn't to convince you to train one way or the other. We're here to talk about how to use lighter weights to make some decent strength gains and match the muscle gains as our fellow heavy lifting fitness folks. Surprisingly, you can't just pick up the lightest dumbbells in the gym and start flailing them around in the air at your friend and expect to make any real progress. There is a strategy that, for the most part, follows the same principles as any other resistance training protocol, but with a few yet very important caveats. Let's get right to it. Like everything else, progressive overload, or the gradual increase of work done, is very, very important. Although there are many others, we usually adjust 3 training parameters to progressively overload a given exercise: the number of reps, the number of sets, and the weight lifted. These are also the 3 factors you multiply together to calculate your work volume, which is how progressive overload is commonly tracked. Now, in normal circumstances, you have a lot of flexibility on how you adjust these 3 factors. But here comes caveat 1 of lifting with lighter weights. Since our goal is to keep things light, the rate that we increase the weight lifted will be slower than with heavier weights. That then means we must rely more on increasing reps and sets to maintain a solid rate of progressive overload. But that's also where we run into caveat 2. For lighter weights to match heavier weights in effectively stimulating muscle fibers and hypertrophy, the research shows that it's important to train very close or all the way to failure. This is an extremely crucial point you need to consider if you want to train with lighter weights. If you thought lightweight training equals light effort training, then you'll be more disappointed than that one time I bit into a purple carrot thinking it was a Chinese sausage. Just ask anyone that trained to failure with 25 plus reps. They'll tell you not only how painful it is, but how much effort it took to achieve it. That said, let's talk instructions. When taking sets close to failure, you want to stop about 1 to 3 reps shy of it, maybe sometimes 4 or 5 if things get really tough. I recommend occasionally taking your sets all the way to failure, usually reserved for times where your progression starts plateauing. Just like any other training strategy, you also want to split your workouts to train similar muscle groups in the same session. Try to hit each muscle group 2 to 3 times a week and wait at least 2 days before hitting the same muscle group again. Research shows that you can lift as low as 30% of your 1 rep max and still make good gains. At 30% 1RM, depending on the exercise, we're looking at about 20 to 35 reps per set. However, since we gotta train close to failure, in my opinion, that higher end of the rep range is a bit too much when we consider the buttload of fatigue it can cause, not to mention it will also make your workouts longer. Instead, I think aiming for 40 to 50% 1RM would be solid, especially for you younger folks that don't want to go too light. That puts you closer to 15 to 25 reps per set, which I think would be more practical. For progression, you want to increase your reps first and then adjust either the weight or the number of sets, but stay within 2 to 4 sets max. Again, you can run into fatigue issues, so be very careful with how quickly you progress. If you end up constantly skipping sessions because you need more time to recover, then you gotta go back to the drawing board. Okay, that was the main gist of it, and now I want to leave you with an extra 5 rapid tips. Number 1, perform your compound exercises first in your workouts. That's things like your squats, bench presses, rows, and anything else that uses multiple joints. Number 2, it might be best to stay a bit further away from failure with compounds, like about 3 to 5 reps. For single joint isolation exercises like curls, you can bring it a bit closer to 1 to 3 reps. Number 3, I suggest you spend some time training to actual failure first. It's hard to know when to stop a few reps before failure if you don't know how failure feels like in the first place. It's much further than you think. Number 4, nutrition is still very important. For muscle growth, a slight calorie surplus with ample protein is your best bet. And number 5, it makes sense to still lift heavy weights to take advantage of the strength gains. If it was up to me, I'd save the lightweight high-rep stuff for isolations and stick with the heavy low-rep stuff for compounds. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a heavy thumbs up and share it with your lightweight loving friends. Subscribe for more and let me know what you think in the comments. As always, thank you for watching and don't forget to get your protein.